I'm sure there'll be people listening that will have shared the gospel with a friend or family member before which got rejected. What advice would you have for that person that wants to try again?
Yeah, family members are probably the hardest and scariest people to evangelize. Give me a room full of angry atheists that want my blood over talking to an unsaved relative any day. They're difficult. They're challenging. We're called to be faithful. The first step we must do is pray for our family and friends that we know. Pray for them. We must look for opportunities to speak to them. But these people know us better than the strangers we meet. So our lives better testify to the gospel truth. Now, when we share the gospel and they hear it and they reject it, some people say, well, you just keep pummeling them. You keep going until they finally believe. I don't necessarily think that's the best tactic. I think the principle we see in 1 Peter chapter 3 needs to come into play. In 1 Peter chapter 3, Peter tells wives how they should win their unbelieving husbands. And he says, live a certain way. Live a life that reflects the gospel. Now, the life does not proclaim the gospel. The life merely confirms that you have been saved and you're transformed. So I think if we've shared the gospel with our unsaved friends and family and they've rejected it, we pray for them. We continue to pray for them. But we make sure that we live in such a way that our lives now testify that we know Jesus. Yeah. Now, that may mean that we don't do things that they do. We may not go to the movies and watch things that they watch. We speak differently to them. We have different order of priority. You know, if they say, oh, we're having a big family event on Sunday morning, we say, oh, I'd love to be there, but I'm going to church Sunday morning. Can I come afterwards? So people start to see there's a difference. Use your life as a testimony, but then also look for opportunities for the door to open again. And sometimes they will, where friends and family will start asking questions and you can start to talk about gospel things. I don't think you need to grab them in a headlock and pummel them every single time you see them. You know, you see that long-lost cousin that only at funerals and weddings, and every time you go to a funeral, you're confronting them. You know, where are you going to go? Well, it's good to present the gospel, but sometimes we just have to say, look, I've shared the gospel. The seed has been sown. I can't save that person, but I can talk to the one who can. And we pray for them and live out the gospel in front of them.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Really